Hello, my dear folks. Welcome to the show. My dear fellow Angelinos, welcome to the show, the interview talking about Los Angeles. So exactly, we talk about our own backyard, our own town, Los Angeles County, as a county. As a county, so every now and then you see somebody as a new hand there do the job as a county supervisor. Luckily, we had Michael Antonovich on the job in the office for Los Angeles 5th District, Los Angeles County office for supervisor for the 5th District. Now he's turning down and running for another position, and we have a replacement to talk about. Speaking of replacement, you always want something better. I would say, well, at least you got to be as good as Mike, right? Like that. So this person, this great lady, wonderful lady, a close friend of mine, a close friend to the community, Miss Catherine Bogger is with me. Welcome, Catherine, to the show.
Thank you for having me again. It's
All
always
right.
a pleasure to be here talking to you, Jack.
I'm getting excited already. How many weeks do we have,
We have-
till the
5 weeks. 5 weeks till June 7th.
till the final judgment?
Tell the final. For me, I'm hoping final judgment. It may be the first round, but I'm confident it's going to be final judgment.
Very good, very good, very good. And I understand that lots of people know Catherine by watching this show. We did 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th.
Yes, it is.
Right? This is the 4th. Yet we do not want to take things for granted that there are some people, some of my friends, my audience there, might not know her or might be the first time, right? So for that, Catherine, may I still, if I may, ask you or invite you to give us a little story about yourself, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've worked for Los Angeles County and for Mike Antonovich, and began as an intern. Was hired to handle health and human services, and for the last 15 years, I've been his chief of staff.
All right.
Born and raised in the district, don't need any on-the-job training. I will hit the ground running.
Okay.
I have the endorsements of Governor George Deukmejian, Governor Pete Wilson,
Ah,
3 former district attorneys,
I
Bob
see.
Filibosian, Steve Cooley, and Gil Garcetti. I have the endorsement of the sheriff's deputies. Over 8,000 sheriff's deputies have endorsed my candidacy, as well as Los Angeles County firefighters, in part because of my commitment to public safety. I'm married to a retired sheriff's deputy, and my father was former insurance commissioner under Ronald Reagan. So I understand the importance of public service,
I see.
and this is a passion I have. And I am going to leave this county better than I found it, and that's why I am running for supervisor, and I'm going to win.
I see, I see. It is almost a picture that's so clear to us that we're talking about somebody who was born and raised here, who knows the county, and on the job that she will be doing already, and doing the job for so many years. Let me do the number if I'm correct, all right? Supervisor Michael Antonovich has been on the job for 36 years.
Correct.
Out of his 36 years, there were 28 years when you were with him.
Yes.
And out of 28 years that you were with him, there were 15 years you served as the chief of staff.
Correct.
Right? Okay. In other words, you can open your shop right next day or the same day.
Absolutely.
You don't have to warm up or training or go into an intern class or something or whatever program. So you can start right away.
Absolutely. I mean, and I really, what makes me the only candidate that's got this experience is that I started as an intern. So I started entry level, and so I understand.
I see.
I understand constituent service. I understand what the expectation is of our voters.
I see.
Handling health and welfare, I understand the needs of the most vulnerable population in the county, the people that depend upon us for services because they have nothing else. And as his chief of staff, I understand the importance of fiscal responsibility, but also transportation, parks and rec, libraries, across the board. And that's important coming into this.
Geographically, how big is Los Angeles County?
It's a little over 10 million people.
A little over 10 million. Or
And
that's almost a country.
It is almost a country. Our budget is $28.5 billion.
Okay, like Belgium.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, good.
With not as many problems.
Not as many, yes,
No.
I know that.
Yeah, and so when you look at Los Angeles County, it is the size of states, and the budget is larger than some states like Rhode Island.
Rhode Island as a state.
Yes.
All right, very good.
Yes.
And how big is your 5th district?
Our 5th district, square miles wise, is the largest of all of them.
The largest of all the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly, and it starts in the Antelope Valley, so Lancaster, Palmdale.
Antelope Valley by Highway 14.
Highway
and
14,
16.
Kern County.
Kern County. Oh, Kern County,
Yeah, up by
quite a
toward
distance, yes.
Bakersfield.
You're talking about on the 1 hour and then 10 minutes something drive, easy.
To the Kern border, it'd be about an hour and 45 minutes. And then it comes across the mountains, so we have most of the San Gabriel Valley, East San Gabriel Valley, out to Laverne. We have the Santa Clarita Valley up to the Grapevine, so Kern County. Then we go San Fernando Valley out to the Ventura County line. So we've got Ventura County, Kern County, and San Bernardino County, all
And to
bordering
the
Fifth
south?
District. To the south, we stop at San Gabriel, Alhambra, Temple City. We do not have Monterey Park, but we stop right there.
I see.
And everything above that, San Marino, which is where I'm born and raised.
I see.
Arcadia, all the way
You're
over.
talking about a land pushing from Alhambra, Monterey Park, all the way till Antelope Valley, to the Kern County border.
Yes,
Am I right?
absolutely, and that's why it's so important.
That's a very huge area.
It's a huge area, but Jack, what I emphasize is the diversity. We
diversity,
have such
yes.
a diverse district.
I
What's
see.
right in the Antelope Valley is not going to work in Arcadia.
I see.
It's important to
And
understand
how big is the budget that you just mentioned?
$28.5 billion
28.5 billion with a B.
with a B.
With a B.
B.
I see.
And
All
it's
right.
important to understand the complexity so that you can best utilize limited resources. It's a lot of money, but much of that is already promised to different areas. So it's important to understand the diversity so you can make sure that the money and the resources are allocated appropriately.
You're right. So I'm kind of like a doctor trying to diagnose the situation positively, of course. Positively, because you're on way up, right? So I kind of want my audience to understand that you're talking about somebody who exactly, obviously knows the job, right? And knows the job, and knows the territory, knows the money, knows its people, all together. So a land pushing all the way from Alhambra, Monterey Park area, around the San Gabriel Valley, pushing all the way to the north, all the way to the border of Kern County, all the way passing Highway 14 or 16 something, all the way.
14,
That's a
correct.
big land. Oh, by the way, BYD is there.
BYD, Stella
BYD.
Lee.
We'll talk about BYD. We
Absolutely.
have.
I'm
That's a
proud of
big.
that.
That's a big contribution to U.S. economy, to California alone.
And to the environment.
The environment too. Okay, we'll talk about that part. And to the west, we're talking about all the way to San Fernando County.
San Fernando Valley. So
San Fernando
we've got
Valley to
Chatsworth, Border
Vancouver.
Ranch. Yeah.
To the border of
Ventura,
Ventura
yeah.
County. And to the right, we're talking about San Bernardino.
Exactly. Laverne is the last city before you hit San
I see.
Bernardino.
All right. So, my dear audience, today we're touching base with you about the campaign. We're talking about the local campaign election, call it, if you may. Even though smaller when compared as versus to the presidential, but is more related to us, right? I would say I don't care who the next president would be, because they will do the same thing anyway, regardless, right? Whoever, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or Ted Cruz or even Bernie Sanders, right? Whoever, I don't even care, especially in a mess like this. So who cares about what or anything? Yet I do care about LA County. because LA County is my own hometown, my own backyard. I really want a manager, somebody who can manage the whole thing, who knows the job exactly, to give us the attention of day-to-day movement or development or whatever, call it this way. So with me is my good friend. I believe she is the one, she will be the one. Well, don't take me for a bet, but I do bet myself that she will be the one. Because why? Because number one, she is on the job for so many years. Once again, I would like to emphasize that how much I know about her, about the job. And she doesn't pay me for that. I don't even get a penny from her. I just feel that it is my obligation to let my audience know that why we want to choose somebody right for the job, right? She, out of the service of 36 years for Michael Antonovich on the supervisor seat, she has been there in her office for 28 years. And out of 28 years, there were 15 years, 15 years, a lot of years, being the chief of staff running the whole office, namely actually hands on the job.
Absolutely.
For 15 years. So Catherine Barger is her name. You check on the ballot, you will find her name.
At the top.
And you check of course,
At the top.
yeah. And you check around on the internet anywhere, Los Angeles County, you will find her. And I believe that we all need to find the right one for the right job. Let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we will, instead of talking about the big picture, which we did already so beautifully, we want to pinpoint area by area, right? Area by area, district by district, and spot by spot to see how she thinks job can be done. So stay with us, please. Hello, my dear folks. Welcome back to the interview with Catherine Barger, candidate on the top of the list of Los Angeles County, county supervisor for the seat of 5th District. So Catherine Barger is now holding the position of the Chief of Staff of Michael Antonovich, supervisor of LA County. And she's been there, by the way, on the very job, 15 years altogether, 28 years in the office, and that's 28 out of all 36 years out of Michael Antonovich, right? So I would say welcome back to the show.
Great to be here. I love talking to you because I think it's important to get everything that we feel is important and impacts the county on the table.
Trust me, I have the credential that I do right things. Lots of audiences, especially my close friend kind of audience, they buy me. Yeah, they say Jack is the right guy. Choose whatever he chooses. I'm not trying to blackmail you. I'm talking about that. Really, I want to support what is the upbeat. Right? Upbeat.
What's the right thing?
Yeah, speaking of upbeat though, correct me if wrong, it is always easier to talk about a big plan. For example, when President Obama says, change, yes we can. Until this moment, I don't see much, right? And look around all the four of the top players on the left or right-hand side, they say, every kind of things, especially Donald Trump, there's almost no limitation about what could come out from his mouth. So to me, the conclusion is that it's a lot easier to talk things big. It's harder, relatively, to get to the pinpoints of the whole thing. You mentioned about almost the three major parts. Number one, the welfare part. Number two, public safety part. All right, county sheriff. And number three, the economic development. Right, those are the three. You have good health, you enjoy a safe environment, and then next thing what you do? Go ahead, develop, right? So can we start one by one? How do you think that you can handle the job on the seat by taking care of our health problem or health issue?
Well, when you think about Los Angeles County and our budget, it's important for us to have economic development because that is the funding, that is the money that's going to come in to allow us to develop programs beyond.
Health program first. Let's do that.
Okay, so when it comes to health, we operate 5 hospitals. We are what they call the safety net, which means that for people that don't have insurance or are underinsured, we are their health care provider. We operate clinics throughout the entire county. We have High Desert up in Antelope Valley. All of you, East San Gabriel Valley, we contract with the private provider to provide services for those people. It's important to educate people about staying healthy. You don't want to end up in the emergency room, so we want to make sure there's access for people who may have diabetes, who may be overweight that need help with diet, that have a chronic health condition, that if access to health care is provided, we can stabilize it.
You know, Catherine, it is rather confusing to me, especially at this moment when Obamacare is added to it. So we have the Medicare system, we have the Medi-Cal system, we have the self-paid insurance system, and we have the Obamacare system, and then we're talking about a county healthcare system. How do you swap around all these kind of messy items?
Well, in California, the enrollment has been far less than what was imagined because people can't afford it. And when people can't afford it, and when employers are not offering health insurance, they come to the county for those services.
All right.
And then we will get reimbursed from the federal government.
I see.
Although that is going to change under this Obamacare because the whole goal is to get everybody on to some sort of insurance plan. But again, you know, the devil is in the details.
Yeah, you are right.
When everyone thought that this was going to be the answer, what they failed to realize is that people are going to lose their existing health care plans. And then when they sign up for new health care, it's more expensive. And employers are finding that the bureaucracy that's in place is so cumbersome that they're overwhelmed as well. So the goal of getting people signed up is not coming to fruition. And by the way, the county, for those that don't have insurance, is the agency that signs up people for Obamacare. And so it's been a struggle. And I know the numbers are low. I mean, it's high in comparison to the country. But when you look at our population, it does not exceed what was projected. And it's very complicated. I tell people, healthcare in and of itself is the most complicated, frustrating bureaucracy.
All right, good. I know it is not your job to overturn Obamacare. The problem is that among all these, when Obamacare is added, there are still people who cannot afford and who are, of course, subject to fines, like that kind, right?
Correct.
So how do you, in that situation, without having to have the power to overturn anything, how do you still want to make sure as a county supervisor that your people, call it your people, are cared for?
And that is a great question, Jack. And I'll tell you why, as a supervisor, I have the ability to do that. We have people coming in and applying. So we've got the data that shows what the costs are, what the coverage is, where they've gotten coverage in the past, whether it's been through private insurance and they've been unemployed, or if they've been under Medi-Cal. And we can take that data, and when people talk about overturning or throwing out Obamacare, at the end of the day, you and I both know what's happening in Washington is a stalemate. Nothing's happening. I would rather give them the information, the data, to address the shortfalls within the current healthcare, Obamacare, and fix what needs to be fixed.
It sounds that you exactly hit the nail on the head. Because what bothers me, let alone the fact that the people, my folks are on the street, they don't even know as much as I did with this one, right? So with all the parts missing, all the parts available, we're confused about what's available, what's missing. So when you are in the office, I'm inviting you, I'm suggesting, I'm trying to make recommendations. Would you please make this information available to people that, hey, come on, folks, and this is no longer available. This is available, and yet there is a potential here. Come on, find out what if it's you. I'm talking about the allocation of the information. I'm talking about so to make it work.
Absolutely, and it's got to be across the board. I mean, we work closely with a lot of nonprofits, Chinatown Service Center, for one, which is in our district in Alhambra and San Gabriel, and actually downtown Los Angeles. It's important to canvass our nonprofits and let them know. But it's also important to get back information.
I see.
And really use that to strengthen what we have. Because
Exactly.
again, it's here. We need to make it work.
Take me, for example, right? I know I'm not covered from head to toe. I am covered somehow.
You are,
right?
correct.
And yet, I have to wait in a long queue, get service, get finally served, right? That I was never expected. I had never been able to expect, right? This is number one. Number two, me, Jack Chow, a newsman on the job every day, in and out, do not even know what is available, what is no longer available, what is missing, what is going to happen, what can be expected. We know nothing. We, the people, are kind of benighted of the whole thing. That is the point. As a county supervisor, I would ask you for help, and I believe lots of your constituents will do that. Catherine, give us some info. We need that. Can you, please?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, and again, because this has been my background, it is important to give people information. But Jack, I think part of my frustration is people don't ask questions. There's a
encourage them to ask.
There's a sense of entitlement. Just make it happen. We need to empower individuals so that they can make educated decisions. And if that means holding healthcare fairs, and I'm not talking about the kind that just give you healthcare, but also give you information.
Okay, go ahead and mark my word on that. I believe my audience will do the same thing, do the same note, that once you took office, you send people here, or even yourself come here to go into the information one by one. How about that?
I would love to, and I'd love to bring our doctor, Dr. Mitch Katz,
sure.
who understands.
We offer the service at our own cost. We want to do it at our own cost because I know, well, of course, you got to pay everybody a nice salary, right? We do this at our own cost to make sure the information is available to our audiences. My dear audiences, I have to take a little break. When we come back, we'll hit another spot, which is the public safety and security. And that's the big stuff we're talking about.
The private sector, as it relates to business development, as it relates to healthcare, as it relates to access to services across the board, our parks. So I understand. I get both sides because I'm balanced. It's a balanced approach.
Very good, very good. And it sounds to me that we are finally talking to the right person about the right thing, right? So let's move on to public safety. Speaking of public safety, we can't avoid talking about the nowadays world situation. We have anti-terrorism going on, and we have a war almost here. And not long ago, we had something happen in San Bernardino right away there. So next door to us, all right, okay, anyway. So what's your take about two things? Number one, the status quo of our public safety within the county. And then number two thing is that what difference can you make once you take office? Let's do take, please.
Well, what happened in San Bernardino, the tragedy that happened in San Bernardino, the lives that were lost in San Bernardino.
Yeah. 13 or 17 of them, right? 13 or 17 of them, yes.
Is a wake-up call to all of us that the war is not being fought on foreign land, it's in our own backyard.
Not here in the backyard.
I'm proud to say that Los Angeles County, we sent workers to San Bernardino County, environmental health specialists, to help as it related to those that needed to take off time. So we helped them. We partnered with them and teamed with them during that difficult time.
We're not a bystander.
No, we absolutely not. At the end of the day, we are a family.
Yeah, you're.
And we are human beings, and compassion is important. It's changed the way we look at everything. We in Los Angeles County have looked at every single building to ensure that our employees are as safe as we can make them, understanding that there's workforce violence as well, not just terrorist, workforce violence. We are also educating that if you see something, report it. Don't be afraid.
See something, say something.
See something, say something. It's oftentimes that people live where I don't want to get involved. My husband, who's a former sheriff's deputy, I drive him crazy because I get involved. If I see someone in need,
you're right.
I will step up and say, how can I help?
Yeah, you're right.
If I see something that I think is wrong,
yeah,
I will say.
Just assume that if everybody takes a mind like your mindset, though, nobody can get away without being punished, right?
Well, I think we as a society need to, they say love thy neighbor. We need to really act on that.
Love thy neighbor, yes.
And so terrorism is alive and well in terms of the concerns that we have in the county. We've got a phenomenal
very good,
Sheriff
very good.
Jim McDonald, who has his own group working on this. And there are many things that I don't know and you don't know and we can't know in terms of what they're doing. But we in LA County have looked at what happened in San Bernardino County.
Let me ask you some, excuse me if you find it hard to answer. You can say, hey, Jack, I prefer to skip. Okay. You can do that. Now, with the resignation of Lee Baca, with the scandal, with the charge, indictment and scandal, convicted of the underchef, the underchief, right? And now it was about 2 days ago, there was rumors talking about Jim McDonald, about his quote unquote racial comment when he was at the last job though. And looks there is something going on with the county sheriff department. So how confident are you once you take office to, of course, to enhance the system?
Social media, as it relates to Jim McDonald, and I don't know what you're referring to. That's news to me. I know he had his chief of staff who just resigned over emails that were sent that were inappropriate, that showed a lack of tolerance.
All right.
I have full confidence in Jim McDonald. I have full confidence in the team that he has around him. And I believe that it's important as county supervisor to provide him with the resources necessary, because at the end he'll be held accountable, not only by the board but by the voters.
Yeah, you're right.
And so, you know, I look at the intolerance of many, and social media really has changed the way we operate. You know, I get emails and I delete. People can send something that's so inappropriate, and I wonder where. And on my personal email, and I erase because I think it's totally inappropriate. And there is no excuse for intolerance. And when you're in a position of power, you have to lead by example.
All right.
You have to lead by example. You have to show the people that you work with everybody.
In other words, with Lee Baca and with the conviction of the underchief, things are over with the first with the previous page.
Yeah, I believe that the conviction of Paul Tanaka was the final chapter.
Right now, with the under leadership of Jim McDonald, you believe that that you will be able to bring it up, bring the concept, even the concept, or beef up our public security or safety.
Absolutely. Jim McDonald's credibility is strong on the board. He has come in swiftly. He's been deliberate and thoughtful in how he does things, but he's been swift on the changes he's made.
I see.
And it's all about credibility. When you come to the Board of Supervisors and you're asking for additional resources, in this case money, it's important that credibility be there, because we as the stewards of the money given to us by the voters. It's important that we make sure that money's spent appropriately. And Jim McDonald is showing me that he has the credibility as it relates to the requests that he's been making. He's down the number of sheriffs he needs to recruit, so we are providing him with those resources.
What if I invite you and Jim McDonald, once you take office, to come here all together, face to face, to talk about it? Because lots of my audience care about it, and they have to care about it as their own life.
Care. It's a quality of life issue.
Yeah, quality of life is the
quality
bottom
of life.
line,
It is,
right?
it is.
So let's do something once you take office. I know you're busy right now.
Yeah.
Well, forget it for time being. And after June the 6th, right?
7th.
7th. Oh, June the
Yeah.
7th. Oh, a Tuesday.
A Tuesday.
5 weeks to go.
Yes.
Oh, look at the calendar.
I
5
know,
weeks to
I
go.
know.
All right.
It seemed, I was
Okay.
you were
We'll do
here
that.
right on the front line when I first announced.
All right. Very good. And I started ground zero.
You started ground zero, and
We
actually
started
I
ground
have
zero.
to say that
right.
it was the first interview I had on TV was with you.
Okay. Very good. So once you take office, grab me over to the victory party.
You're going to be front and center. I told you when I'm sworn in, you're going to be in the front row.
Oh, I'm gonna even MC for you.
Okay. Will you sing?
Okay, good. Oh, I can sing.
I know.
So, like that, right?
There.
Good. All right, my dear audience, let's take a very short break. When we come back, we'll touch the economy, local economy, county economy. And BYD, of course, that's a big example, good example, very positive. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, dear audiences, my dear friend, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show, with a lot of pride. And I believe that my audience, like me, it is just not because I'm handsome and whatever. It's because I care about you. I try, and along with my staff and everybody on the job, our whole crew, everything possible, every bit possible to bring information, positive, I call it upbeat, info to the camera, to your eye, so that you know what's going on. In Los Angeles County right now, the biggest thing going on is the county election, county supervisor election. There's a term called the term out. There's a rule for term out. County supervisor of Los Angeles County, Michael Antonovich, is stepping down because of his term limit. Now we're talking about replacement. The replacement, number one, we want to get somebody who is capable of handling the job. And if there is a comparison between two or among three or four, whatever, you always find who is the best one handling the job. And yet, of course, you have to choose somebody beautiful. Okay, fall in the ballpark, the whole thing, Catherine Barger is my pick at the show. And I endorse her, even starting ground zero when you first announced, right? So once again, Catherine Barger, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Jack.
Once again, I have to let my audiences know, in case you just turn on, Catherine Barger has been in Michael Antanovich's office, his county supervisor office, for 28 years. And out of the 28 years, there were 15 years she served till now as the chief of staff. Right. So, and we're talking about obviously somebody who knows the job. So, we touched ground, and in the first one, and then we touched about healthcare, and we talk about the public safety, and we are touching the bottom line of economy. Right, so you mentioned about all money comes from
the engine of the county. This is what generates revenue, not only for the county, for the state. It provides jobs.
Yeah, you're right.
It also provides revenue. Is it based on taxes? When people have jobs, they spend.
Exactly.
It strengthens the economy.
Yeah, when they spend, the government has revenue.
And businesses, it thrive. You know, we look at up in the Antelope Valley with BYD, Build Your Dreams, bringing the electric bus manufacturing plant to the Antelope Valley.
Yeah.
We could not have done that without the city of Lancaster partnering with us, without the cooperation of our economic development corporation up there, the Greater Antelope Valley Economic Development Corporation. the hard work that we did, it was a group effort, but the benefits, not only to the people that are working there, but to the region. They go to restaurants, they buy homes, they buy clothes, they buy cars.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a win-win. It's across the board.
Just to once again take an overall look at our economy, revenue versus the budget, and expenditure so far, so on and so forth. Let's see how big is our expectation of income. Take this fiscal year, for example, and how big the expenditure could be, how big if there's a gap, and then where's the hope, where to get the money, so on and so forth. Like exactly the other day, I had an interview with Mr. Tony Wu of West Covina. Oh, that was an eye-opener. He had lots of program that make things spin, make the wheel spin without extra money. Okay, so go ahead. About how do you, once you take job,
Well, understand
take the job.
that of our budget, two-thirds of our budget goes to health and welfare. So that's money that's coming into the county from the federal government.
That's why we take it as the first part.
Exactly.
All right.
That 1/3 comes from vehicle license fee, sales tax, property tax, and other resources coming down from the state. Sales revenue or sales tax revenue. It's important to collaborate and really, as they say, get your best bang for your buck. And when you look at for example, BYD, giving them incentives that may be short-term tax incentives, but long-term tax benefits to the county. And I'm not going to mislead people. The county can't do this alone. The state of California has to wake up and realize, as Governor Rick Perry said.
Oh, by the way, is the state still taking money from counties?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, always?
They figure out a way.
But state is running surplus already.
Well, it's one of those things where I tell people the state sneezes, the county gets the cold. And when I look at what's been going on with businesses leaving the state of California, Rick Perry, governor of Texas, was criticized for stealing.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm not stealing, you're giving them away."
He's waving at us, say, come on.
Yeah, as a county supervisor, and again, the BYD was a very difficult negotiation because we needed to enhance and give them a reason why they wanted
you're right.
LA County, but number 2, California. And BYD is invested in this county. It's identifying what those barriers are and being part of the solution. I get so tired of hearing people say, it's your fault, now do something, and then walk away and say, I did my part. It's important for us to work together.
Yeah, you're right.
Work together. We have people we send up to Sacramento.
You're right.
They still represent the same constituency that I will
Judging
represent.
by the exact years that you have been on the chief of staff job, I believe that you were involved during the negotiation with BID.
Correct.
Right, good.
Correct.
Last time I learned from Christine, that was a very tough negotiation. And there's even little kind of a downturn in the middle of negotiation. They were trying to go elsewhere, and then you guys tried to bring it back. Oh, by the way, that's $1 billion business. It's multi-billion-dollar business, right?
Absolutely, and not to mention the fact that they are bringing all electric buses to not only LA County, but now BYD is getting orders from around the country.
From around the country.
And these are buses that when people depend upon our transit system, the long-term savings, not only to the environment, but also you don't need to use fuel, you're using electricity, is huge. So for us to get BYD, and by the way, they're not limiting it to just buses.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're looking at homes, all electric homes. Build your dreams. BYD is not stopping just with buses.
And solar energy.
Cars, solar energy.
Solar energy, yeah.
They are going to be something that in the future, people are going to say, wow, it started in LA County, it started in Lancaster, and it started under Supervisor Mike Antonovich and grew under Supervisor Catherine Barber.
I would say that's a legacy left over by your boss,
Yes.
Michael Antonovich,
Absolutely.
and he's great for that. And you want, once you take office, how do you want to go ahead and get another BYD or DYB into Los Angeles?
It's working with different industries, and the great thing about the 5th District is we have the greatest area for expansion. Also up in the Antelope Valley, we have an airport.
Yeah.
So we have major highways so we can get goods movement done.
You're right.
It's going to be about going out there and really making the pitch why this is the place you need to be. And it's not about coming in and saying, I'm the supervisor, sign here. It's about, I'm the supervisor, I want you to sign here and I want to work with you. I want to work with you to make it grow. If you benefit, we benefit. And that's important. I'm not going to fly in and say, okay, you did it. Next, I'm going to be a partner, and the county's going to be a partner with businesses as they come into LA County.
And I believe also personality, I'm talking about charisma, that is also another call because, you know, when people look at you, they see the honesty, they see the friendship, and they see everything. And then when you talk about the county, they see the potentials and people will come. The key point is that you would have to understand, when I started, remember when I started the first segment, inviting you to talk about healthcare, you insisted for a minute to talk about the business development because that's where the money comes from, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly, I agree with you. Exactly, I agree with you because without business development, there's no money to talk about whatever healthcare. You don't even have one like that, right? So
it becomes a welfare state, and there are many people that want to work.
I see. I have about 30 seconds left, and we got to hurry up, wrap something with your statement, please. And Catherine Barber, and when you see this everywhere, okay, this is the ad you have, right?
That's
and I took this on October the 13th when we started Ground Zero.
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay,
It's
your
an
30
honor.
seconds,
I mean,
please.
Jack, I am about solving problems. I'm a candidate that is the only candidate to live, born and raised in the 5th District, didn't have to move into the 5th District,
No.
not termed out, not looking for a higher office. For me, this is a passion. I have the support of Supervisor Mike Antonovich, who's been in this
Very
office for
good,
36
very good,
years,
very
who
good.
understands the complexity. And my commitment to everyone out there is that I want you to hold me accountable. I don't want to be a politician that goes away. I want to be a representative that makes a difference and leaves this county better.
Okay, very good. But I have to ask my producer to prolong a little bit because I just hit an important point. She just hit an important. She says she is not looking for higher office using this as transit. No. And you want to promise that?
I absolutely promise. I mean, everything I've done up until today has not been because I wanted to run for office, so I was trying to curry favor.
You could be president of the United States.
Absolutely not.
You're right.
My passion is the county, and the next 12 years in office, I am going to make this county
right,
better
very
than
good.
when I got here.
All right, my audience, we heard that. We hate hit and runs. Right?
I'm not.
There are lots of political hit and run. That is exactly why I would ask my producer to prolong a little bit, all right? So we're done already. We're over time. My dear audience, thank you very much for bearing with me. Thank you for joining me. And to Catherine, thank you very much for sharing. And then we have 5 weeks down the road. And wish you good luck. And my dear audiences, I know who you want to cast now.